What's up, everybody? How's it going? Crazy day. Welcome, welcome. So Gary has already been teasing for a long time, 3 p.m. dropping alpha. He's been dropping it all day in the Discord. So we are going to catch it live here and see what's going on. Let's see if we can get some folks in. We're going to kind of dissect this. We're going to hear it live, see what's going on. I'm extremely confident that it's going to be about the burn mechanics for VF2, what we've been waiting for. Welcome in. So the burn mechanics is what I think, it's around the other way, sorry. Sorry. The burn mechanics is what we're confident that he's going to reveal. He's talking about meeting the 15 new characters and how to get them. He's been talking about hinting at an additional opportunity in this. So he's talked about Patience Lava a little bit. He's talked about the sets of 5. He just said April Fool's Part 2. Let's see what he said pushing back to 6 p.m. and then April Fool's. Hilarious. Stop that. So guys, I know we've seen a lot of stuff. I don't want to get too deep into what he's been leading up to, because right in the middle of that, he's going to drop this, what I think is going to be a blog post, honestly. And then we will read that live together. As a matter of fact, let me just go to the blog right now so we don't miss it. Last time we did this, oh, here we go. Let's see. VeeFriends Roundup, April 1st. That was yesterday. Okay, so that was yesterday's blog. Sorry, getting a little ahead of ourselves here. But last time, we caught the blog live even before he had mentioned it on Discord. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping track if he does drop something. I think it will be the blog post that tells us how the burn mechanics work. Been waiting on that for a long time. A lot of us thought it would be the VCon art. And let's see. Oh, he did just throw a blog post out there. Okay, here we go. Burning book games from 15 new characters. How to burn for the new characters. In VeeFriends Series 2, 15 brand new characters were added. The only way to mint these new characters is through burning different combinations of book games tokens. Reminder, in addition to the exclusive access, each book games tokens bought before the April 5th snapshot, we know this, serves as an entry for the 12.5 days friends list. We're aware of that. All right, the breakdown of timeline, there are 251 characters in VeeFriends Series 2 because he's retiring some of the access characters from Series 1, although he is adding new characters in for Series 2. Each VeeFriends Series 2 character, apart from Gift Goat, will have a total supply of 220 tokens, including 214 randomly generated unique combinations of poses and backgrounds. Okay, 6 spectacular one-of-ones, bubblegum, diamond, hologram, gold, lava, and 1 new addition to the spectacular family to be announced. We think that's the gunmetal. We saw a hint of that earlier this month, and if I had to guess, the 6th spectacular is gunmetal, so probably going to be something very sought after. After the friends list 12.5 day mint, one of the 15 new characters, 214 tokens per character, non-spectacular, will be made available per day over the course of 15 days. I called this, guys. Do you remember? I said it was going to be like the VCon sale, which is why I thought the Patience Lava would go first, being the first day. Go back and watch those videos. I'll post it in the description afterward. For 24 hours, holders with the eligible book games token requirement will be able to enter into a raffle for that specific character. So he's saying each day, over 15 days, one of the new characters will be available. So let's say it's the character that the fairy's the one we know matched up to fur. If you have fur tokens, then you're put into a raffle. He's making it a raffle to give everybody, I guess, an equal chance and not make it a race, which is interesting. After 24 hours, that raffle will close and 214 entries will be randomly generated to burn their book games tokens for that character. So just like we see the friends list, he's saying that the burn is going to be a raffle as well. All entrants will need to return back to the site to check the status of the raffle entry. Hey, give me a thumbs up that you guys can hear me. I didn't even think about that. I want to make sure that you can hear me and I'm not just talking to myself. Test one, test one. Can you hear me? Somebody say you can hear me. Okay, great, thank you. That would have been terrible. All right, so back to the message. After 24 hours, the raffle will close, 214 picked. All entrants will need to return back to the site to check the status of the raffle entry. If your wallet was successfully selected, you will become eligible to burn the required Book Games tokens by May 31st, 2022. So we don't have a date on exactly when this is going to occur, the burn's going to occur yet, but it's after the 12.5-day friends list and before May 31st, 2022, right? That's important. So we know that people can still get their Book Games tokens until December 31st of this year. You're only going to have a chance to burn for VF2 May 31st, so 2 months. You will then receive a randomly generated, which is a unique combination of pose and background, Series 2 new character. If your entry is not selected, your tokens remain in your wallet and they will not be burned. So you've got whatever the required, we say maybe it's 5, and we've got a list here in just a second of things that you're going to burn for new character. It's your day. He calls out the fur frames. You have 5 fur frames, and you, along with anybody else that has those 5 fur frames, go into a raffle. You don't have to connect your wallet at all. It's available there. They can see it. They know you have it because it's the blockchain. Everything's visible. So then they will randomly select at the end of the 24-hour period. They're going to randomly select who gets to burn, almost like who gets to mint on the friends list, but who gets to burn. If you get to burn, you go back in and you check, and you have 2 months to, I guess, agree or make the burn going to the exchange and actually doing the actual burn. And then you will get that new character. Now, the character that you will receive will be your character, but the pose and the background that will make your character somewhat unique and more rare or less rare is randomly selected for you. If you choose not to burn, or if you're not selected, you don't have to burn. You get to keep your tokens. Those tokens, you just missed out. It was good. It gave you a chance on the friends list, but you at least won't lose those tokens. So here's the requirements. I know you guys are sending me questions. I'm trying to read this as fast as possible. So day 1, Patience Lava. 5 Patience Lava will give you the Mindful Minokawa on day 1. And that's a new character. Don't know what a Minokawa is, but it looks like some type of bird. If you have 5 Patience Lava. So that kind of throws into the lurch all the people who bought Patience Lavas to go with their frames. Gary did say you'd have to have Patience Lava in your set of frames. He didn't say you'd have to have 5 Patience Lavas. So that's a very interesting twist, something that I don't think anybody really recognized, that he would ask for 5 of those. I don't know many people that have 5. There will be a lot of people selling who didn't want to buy 5 because they're pretty pricey right now. So that price is going to come down, in my opinion. Let me be clear, my opinion is not financial advice. This is just for fun and education. But on day 2, it's Notorious Ninja for 5 black. You do not need a Patience Lava. Having a Patience Lava in your black frames is not going to help you. So you might as well, if you're not going to go after 5 Patience Lava for day 1, you might think about selling it and maybe getting as much as you can off of that right now, as people are going to try for day 1. So day 1, Mindful Minokawa, Patience Lava. Day 2, Notorious Ninja. We knew that name for black, which is the guest that we had. Shout out to Jeremy Knows for pegging that one. Competitive Clown for Rainbow is day 3. Outgoing Octopus. So day 4 is any matching 5 frames. So let's say day 2 and 3, you had 5 black and 5 rainbow. You didn't get selected to mint. Day 4, you could still get your frame selected to mint. So hold on to those. Any 5 matching frames will work. And also on day 14, any 5 matching frames will work. So there's a great opportunity, even if you miss one day, to come back and get something on another day, although you're going to have more people that are going to have 5 matching frames because it's not just one type of frame. Greedy Ghost is day 5 for clear. Tranquil Toad is day 6, 5 Galaxy. Whimsical Wolf, day 7, 5 Gold. Persistent Penguin, day 8, 5 Caviar. Alpha Alligator, day 9 for 5 Emerald. Fearless Fairy, day 10, 5 Fur. Principled Praying Mantis, it is day 11 for 5 Marble. Day 12 is Protective Panther, 5 Granite. Day 13, Smooth Spider, 5 Silver. Hey, Silver does get to play. So for everybody who was worried that Silver wouldn't play, silver does get to play. I'm trying to think. Wood I see is out. Let's see. Day 14 is your second, or actually your third chance, I would imagine, to use 5 matching frames. Versatile Viking, any 5 frames. Day 15, the Resilient Red Devil. Gary's been very hyped on the Red Devil. 5 Pearl or 5 Neon or 2 Champagne. So Champagne does have a shot, and it's only 2. We were hopeful that if he was going to ask people to burn Champagne, it wouldn't be 5 because there's only 65 in existence. And so it's great that 2 Champagne will get you that. Now, day 16, all 90 1-of-1 spectaculars, 6 types per character. So these are, I guess, the best of these new characters. You can use 3 Champagne or 10 Emerald or 10 Pearl or 10 Neon or 15 of any other matching frame. So that's up there. 3 Emerald is 6 ETH right now. 3 Champagne is 6 ETH right now. 10 Emerald is well above that. What was Emerald, like 0.8 roughly? So that'd be 8. Wow, and 15 of any other frame. So if you got in early, you have a great chance. If you didn't, you're going to be paying a little bit. I know Gary's doing a lot. We're going to cover all of that here in just a minute. I want to make sure I continue reading this fully so we get it correct. Breaking down the entry system and schedule for the 15 new characters. The first book game's raffle entry is for the Mindful Minakawa. This raffle entry will stay available for 24 hours. With 5 Patient Lava tokens, the only raffle where frame color does not matter, you can enter the raffle for the Mindful Minakawa, the non-spectacular version. There's 2 versions of the new characters. With 5 Patient Lavas, you can enter 2 versions, 2 types, one with spectaculars, one with not, but there's also 6 spectacular types. With 5 Patience Lavas, you can enter once. With 10 Patience Lavas, you can enter twice. So if you have more sets, you have 2 different sets of Patient Lava frames, or if you have 2 different sets of 5 black frames or 5 rainbow frames, that counts as 2 entries into the raffle is what it sounds like. So you think about day 4 with any 5 matching frames. Let's say you have a set of black and a set of rainbow. Each of those sets on their specific day counts as 1 entry, but on day 4 and also day 14, that counts as 2 entries for that specific date. It's pretty interesting. After 24 hours, a random draw will be conducted. 214 entries will be made eligible to burn their book games tokens for the Series 2 character. Holders will need to revisit the site and check if they were selected. After day 1 release, the Notorious Ninja will become available for 24 hours and so on until all of the characters have been released for burn eligibility. Generated entries have their tokens reserved to claim until May 31st. After the deadline, the NFT will be unclaimable and transferred to a special VeeFriends wallet, which is where maybe Gary will give it away one day. If a raffle does not fill all 214 slots, let's say Neon, there's not enough with that many wallets, all the entries will be successfully selected, and the remainder will be owned by Gary as Gary originally owned. Not a bad deal there. So if you go and grab Neons right now, there's not 214 wallets that have 5 Neons. You're guaranteed a character, is what he's saying. There are a total of 90 spectaculars for the new characters. On the 16th day, all spectaculars will be combined into 1 spectacular raffle after the 15 new characters raffles have passed. That means every spectacular rarity, 6 types for every new character, 15, 6 times 15 is 90, will be in 1 random draw. To enter the spectacular entry day, you need 3 Champagne, 10 Emerald, Pearl, or Neons, 15 of any other type, including wood. So if you have 15 wood, there's a thought, 15 wood, on the last day, you actually have an opportunity to get the spectacular of one of the new characters. So wood's not completely out. There will be 90 entries selected to claim their random new character spectaculars. This is the only way to access the new character spectaculars. There will not be any in the daily raffles. So there's only 90 1-of-1s. After the deadline, the NFT will be unclaimable and transferable or transferred to Special VeeFriends wallet. The raffle does not fill all 90. They all go to Gary as Gary originally owned. And then they do a recap. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. You guys hyped? That is amazing. So, man, let me catch up to Gary here, and then we'll go back and see all the wonderful things he said. Nothing is last play in a forever game. People asking about the special characters in book games, and he said they have a future. None of this is impacting what we're talking about here. There's no other access to getting on the friends list without book games. We knew that, of course. Anybody who's been here any length of time. Wow. So this is pretty impressive. And I think even better than we hoped for. So after the VCon burn, I did a video talking about how I think they learned a lot from that, and that it would be possible for them to make Patience Lava go first if it was day by day, just like this. So I think it's great that each day we can have a focus, something to be excited for. You're going to see the floor actually hold a little longer than we thought. We thought if the burns happened all at once, the floor would drop the next day. This is going to go for another 15 days. Plus, on the last day, you can buy a bunch of stuff off the floor and have an opportunity to get a new spec character. So the price is pretty high, 15 of any frame, 10 neons and pearls. Those, man, I was calling out pearls when they were 0.4. Do you guys remember that? You could have spent 4 ETH and gotten one of these one of ones back then. Wow. So a lot of this is wild. Let's see. I want to answer some of your questions here before we go back to the things that Gary had said previously. If I bought any 3 tokens, which would it be? I've only been looking at rarity lately. Everybody's focused on VF2. I have my 1 set of 5, and that's kind of where I'm at. So for me, I'm looking for steals that I think would give us maybe a longer term play, right? Some of these convictions and gratitudes that are really cheap, under an ETH right now, I think would be a great opportunity. Let's see. Gary keeps chatting, blocking me. Bought 1 black frame thinking it was a requirement. Yeah, I thought so too, Josh. We all did. I didn't think he would do 5 Patience Lavas. That's wild. I have 5 caviar and 1 caviar with Patience Lava. Are you good to go? The one with Patience Lava is not going to help you anymore, other than just being one of your 5, right? So the fact that it's a Patience Lava, if I were you, you might be able to flip that for people who want Patience Lava. I don't know, but you might be able to flip that and buy a cheaper frame, cheaper caviar frame, and make a little bit of money on that right now. Okay, where did it go? There we go. There's an AMA going on right now. That's probably why we're not doing crazy numbers. Where's the AMA? In the... Oh, I see it. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So yes, there is an AMA going on. I've actually got it in my ear right now. Let's see if that... Yeah, so they're saying the same thing we're saying. You just get to see me and click, you know, or do some information here. 2 champagne can be something, absolutely. So that is extremely interesting right now. 2 champagne can get you the Red Devil on day 15. So that's a lot. That's pretty awesome, because probably champagnes are cheaper right now than trying to buy 10 of neon, 10 of pearl. So I think this blog post is very clear, and it makes clear a lot of the things that Gary has said. I think it's been consistent. We've had some really good guesses about which characters matched up to which frames. I think the thing that was confirmed for me was it's over multiple days. That's something that I think is really valuable and is going to help in this whole burn thing. The opportunity that your frame set has actually 3 days to play, right? Whatever day your frame is, day 4 and day 14 is great. It gives you a chance to hold on a little bit longer rather than dumping all at once. I think it's interesting too that there will be, you get till May 31st, which is after VCon. I'd be interested to see how many people wait until that point and what comes out as people are tracking. Those 90 one of ones are going to be very, very sought after. Those are going to be the special characters of VF2, and the price on those, if we imagine that the floor is going to be, people have said anywhere between 1 and 3, those with spectacular have got to be higher than that. You know, maybe 4 to 6 or even beyond. It'll be very interesting to see. Right now, 2 champagne is 4 ETH. So if you're going to get, even the Red Devil is going to be around 4. If you're going to burn 3 champagne, which is close to 6 ETH, 10 emerald right now is 8 ETH, and 15 of any other, you'd have had to get those very, very early. And there are some people who have that are probably very excited right now that they're going to burn for that. So I think I don't know that all 90 of the specs will be taken. Are there 90 people with over 15 frames in their wallet? Maybe. Let me see, does it say 15 matching frames? I don't know if that means that if you do 15 wood or 15 wood plus, or 5 wood and 5 black, 5 caviar. That's a question somebody should ask. Do those 15 have to match? And I think the answer was probably yes on that. That's my guess. The date is not announced for day 1. So it's after the 12.5-day mint. So the snapshot happens on Tuesday, April 5th. And then my guess is that the mint will begin maybe 48 hours. If not immediately, then in the next 48 hours, they'll probably start that. And then 12.5 days after that, at some point, you'll have the public mint. So the date hasn't been announced, but if they're going to give you to May 31st, it is feasible that they could wait to do it until May. Let's say they do it May 1st through the 16th, and then we go to VCon on the 19th. That's not out of the realm of possibility there. How can I buy enough ETH in the next couple to afford a V1? I guess you would just do that in the normal way, Blazed, where you put it in your exchange for ETH, and transfer it over to your MetaMask. That would be the way I would do it. And maybe I've misunderstood your question. Yeah, considering it, yeah. So there you go. There's the thing. Actually, I actually complained about, I was going to get a VF1, and I complained that my bank was had a transfer limit on it, getting from fiat to crypto, and they've since raised that limit. So I'm very thankful for that. Maybe my complaining helped. I don't know. Oh, it's our old friend who likes to do dumb things and spam the chat. Let's get them out of here. All right. So we're going to make this, sorry, got people spamming. We like to put these folks in timeout. So a lot of stuff here. Let me make sure I check back on some of the other things that Gary has said. And in fact, I want to ask Gary that question just to confirm. For the spec burn, 15 matching frames is all frames of the same, or 5 wood plus 5 black plus 5 rainbow? Let's see what he says to that. Maybe somebody's asking that. If I have 1 pearl, what do you recommend? If you have 1 pearl, which is nice, if that's your only book games token, that's a nice one to have. You can hold it for a long term. Pearls at some point will have other opportunities. You could try to flip it because pearls are priced pretty well right now. You're not going to be able to burn with just 1 book games token. You're going to need 5 at least, unless you have 2 champagnes like we saw here on the blog post. But it just depends on what you're going for. That's going to answer that question. How do we feel about, okay, they cleared it up in AMA. So the answer to my question was, can you have 15 matching frames, or can I do 5, 5, and 5, and that get me 15? They have to all be the same. Great. How do we feel about collecting Series 2, similar to the way we've collected book games? I saw Gary imply that there were benefits similar to book games. So I don't think it's going to be the same. So collecting VF2 is great, right? There's going to be a lot of collectability to those. The price is going to rise and fall as the IP gets developed and the ecosystem starts to continue to broaden out. And this is a big step in that. But book games is a different animal. Book games is almost, for lack of a better term, currency. As you're seeing here, we're using the currency of book games tokens to burn and purchase something else that we couldn't just buy with ETH or mint in that way necessarily. So these new characters, you have to use book games as the currency to get those. I don't think you're going to see that with VF2. So it's a little bit of a different animal in that way. And I think book games is forever and will be used for things well beyond. There may come a day where there's a VF3 and book games will be there for something like that. It's going to be interesting to see how many people burn. I can imagine that the spectaculars are going to go. I can imagine 214. You're going to see 3,000 characters go, 5 apiece. That's 15,000, right? 15,000 book games tokens burned, and we've already burned about 6,000. So this will be a nice chunk and will help deflate the currency a little bit and increase the value of what's remaining in that way. I'm trying to make sure I stay on top of what Gary has done. Yeah, so they're doing the Q&A. You've got Q&A here. I think I've read it pretty well and can answer it pretty well on the things that they're saying in there. If you guys are double dipping, that's great too. This will be available after that's over. I don't know that I'll stay here, but I'll post this on my channel and you'll be able to get it. By the way, if you would, give me a thumbs up. Maybe share out the fact that we're doing this live stream so that people can be a part of it. I know that the AMA has probably taken most of the attention, and that's okay. But we'll also be able to answer questions about other parts of the environment as well. Let me post this on Twitter so that for those who want to see it. VF2 Alpha just dropped. We're live streaming. And I appreciate you guys being here and asking questions. I think that's really cool. And I want to make sure that I answer any of those that you have. I don't want to miss any. And I'll update the header on that another time. So yeah, so when Gary came in today and started dropping some information, I actually, let's see, I actually saved a bunch of the things that he said on my phone here so I could go back and remember. Yeah, I got like 20. He said the VF2 is going to be a better NFT than 99% in the world, which I thought was pretty interesting. Someone said the Zero Gang is in trouble. He said not for free giveaway life, and he's been talking about giving away some free stuff. So I think that'll be interesting to see. Certainly has VCon tickets that he can still give away if he wants to, and he has he'll have VF2s that are going to be put in his wallet, which are probably going to be the higher end ones that aren't going to have enough wallets to purchase those. At one point, he said on day 7, the gold will rise. That makes sense now for us. It will take the most to get a red devil. We understand that. He said, be a detective and you may end up protective. I don't really know what that means. You guys have any thoughts about what that means? Be a detective and you may end up protective. Did I waste 1 ETH on my conviction token? He said, not if you remember rule number 1. You guys know what rule number 1 is, right? Patience. 1 patience lava isn't enough for burn. It is enough for a chance on the friends list. That's true. Years of patience will matter in book games. So everything was answered in this blog post. Exciting that it came out today at 3. Gary just jumped on the AMA. Nice. All right, well, let's hop over there. I'll put that in my ear as well so we can see what he's got. I think he's going to just be talking about how excited he is about it because I mean, the alpha's out there now. That blog post is gold. If it's in the blog post, and interestingly enough, when they did the burn sale for VCon, they didn't, they left themselves some room for changing every day, right? They changed what could be burned depending on what Gary thought. And so this time they didn't do that. So I think what you see is what you get. This is how the burn's going to go. They're not going to change it, in my opinion. And they gave themselves an out in the sense that if people don't burn for it, then it's going to go. You can't hear anything from me or from. Yeah. So let me know if you can hear me. I hope you can. Okay, great. You can hear me. Yeah. So I think they left themselves out. What I was saying is that everything goes to Gary. So that's their out. If it doesn't work, it goes to him and they're done. Before they were trying to get those VCon tickets away, and so they adjusted each day. So I'm listening to them as well as I'm talking to you, trying to balance that. Let's see, I have 3 gold frames, 1 silver, and 1 wood. Any advice? If you're interested in a new character, having 5 gold frames would be much more beneficial to you. But having those 5 still gives you 5 chances on the friends list. 28% chance for each one. 5's pretty strong. I would hope that you would be lucky enough to get 1, but we don't know. So it just depends on, again, what your goal is. I'm always cautious. Everybody's got different goals and different things they want to do. So yeah, thanks, Rio. So confused. If I have 10 friends list, do I have to choose how many of the 10 to mint? Yes. So if you have 10 selections, meaning you are holding like maybe 50 book games tokens, to get 10 selections is pretty amazing. Then yes, you would choose if you want to mint all 10. If you don't mint all 10, whatever you don't mint will go to the public mint afterwards. So there's 10,000 set aside for the public mint anyway. Whatever you don't mint and anybody else doesn't mint will go to that public mint as well. So I imagine there will be plenty of that. But people are also making deals to say, hey, if you're not going to mint, I want to mint your spot, and trying to figure out a way to manage that. You may find some takers on that. Save room for the new characters, and how many of the 10 to mint and save room for the new characters? Yeah, so that's a great question, because the public mint, you don't lose any of the on the friends list, you're not losing any of those tokens. So you can mint, you can have tokens get selected for the friends list, and then you can mint those, and you still have your book games tokens. You still have the opportunity to use those for the burn and be selected to burn. But remember, the burn now is a raffle as well, so you may not get selected to burn. But instead of 32,000 opportunities being selected, only 214 are going to be selected, but the pool from which people have 5 frames is going to be smaller. So there's some wallets, let's say, like Black. I think there's 500 wallets that have 5 frames. So 214 out of that 500 will be selected. That's a pretty good, just over 40% chance of being selected. 32,000 opportunities, and you have 5, so 5 out of those 32,000 is a little less opportunity. And since it's completely random, and I don't want to dive into all the math because I'm not the math guy, but it's a lot lower opportunity. So you get a better chance in the burn raffle just because there's not as many wallets that have your frame type. Hope that makes sense, right? So you know how discuss the floor might dip after the screenshot? Yes. You still think this might happen because you just provided massive utility? Yeah, so I think that it's delayed it. That's a great question. Give me 1 second. So we thought that after the snapshot, people are saying, okay, look at it this way. There are people who have 5 book games tokens. None of them are matching, all totally different frames. Those people get a selection to mint, 1 selection. Then they say, well, I don't have the liquidity. I'm going to sell 1 or 2 of these tokens to get the $1,000 in ETH that I need to mint, right? So if they mint that way, then you're going to see some of those tokens go back into the supply, and they're going to sell, probably driving the floor down just a little bit. But if you have 5 frames, like I have 5 black frames, I'm not selling my black frames. Even if one of them gives me the opportunity to mint, I'm going to hold those for day 2 of the burn sale. So it's going to delay that floor drop for people like that who want to hold until the burn sale. So I do think there'll be a little bit of a dip, not as much as we might have seen. And then after the burn sale, there might be a little bit of a dip. But then you might see people all the way through the burn sale picking up frames. Like maybe they have 3 of this and they're like, oh, I didn't get selected for day 2 with my black frames. I do want to get selected for emerald frames now. Let me jump over and grab a couple of those. So maybe that'll stabilize the floor a little bit longer. I really think this is really smart what they've done to kind of extend it this way and do it over 2 weeks. And then that's going to lead right up to VCon, and you're going to have more and more information about that. So it's going to be really interesting how that's going to hold. So Gary just said that the public mint is going to last less than 1 minute, right? So that's fast, and it's going to be a gas war. So you have 10,000 at least trying to mint, and all in 1 minute. And so the gas is going to be insane for that amount of time. And you're going to bid, and if you don't bid high enough and you get outbid and 10,000 people go over that, you're not going to get it, right? It's going to go first, it's going to go faster. So you do need 1,000 each. No, so think again, podcast. You don't need any money for the new character burn. Burning the characters is your payment for the new character. You don't have to pay any fees. If you're doing the friends list minting or the public mint, it's 1,000 in ETH or 995 in ETH and gas. So the goal of the friends list is to avoid the high gas fees, 12.5 days versus 1 minute on the public mint. So I like to, when I try to transfer money from layer 1 to layer 2 or like to mint something, I like to mint like 2 in the morning my time. Nobody's on. I pay like $10 in gas. It's crazy, right? But it's going to be hundreds of dollars in gas for the public mint. So think about that. Yeah, the public's going to be a bot fest. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no reason not to get book games to get in. It will save you money, would have, if you got in much earlier. Yeah, no Series 3. I was just using that as an example, Josh. Maybe 10 years down the road, right? Who knows? Book games is forever, right? So Gary's ragging on everybody in Discord having a PFP that's some other project that, other than VeeFriends. He's angry about it. He's a little fired up. So is the new character burn taking place before the old character minting? No, I think the public mint follows. And let me look at the roadmap again. I want to make sure I see that. Somebody pull up the map. I just saw it on Twitter today as well. And Gary retweeted something where somebody had the map. Let me pull that up. There it is. So no, the burn sale looks like it's going to be after the public sale. There's no date on the burn sale yet. Again, I think so. The public mint is in April. He did say April. It's already the snapshot's April 5th. If the 12.5 days follow that, that puts us, let's say it's immediate, that goes to the 17th, then the public mint sale, then the burn sale, I believe is what's going to happen. We don't have a date or a little cool drawn map telling us that the burn sale date is in April yet. In public mint, you can miss out on the NFT, but you could still pay gas. If the demand is high, it would be possibly over 1,000 in gas, and you don't get an NFT. So Tom is saying that in the public mint, if you just don't hold book games, you don't get selected for the friends list, you don't do the burn sale, which are all things that you can give yourself really good odds and put yourself in control of. If you go to the public mint and you try to pay gas, you can lose your gas money and still not get the NFT. You do not want that to happen. Burning 5 book games is a guarantee for a new VeeFriend character. It's a guarantee if you're selected. So this is something that's new, brand new today, is that each day a different character is going to be offered for a different requirement, a black frame, a rainbow frames, whatever. If you have 5 of that frame according to the requirements, you have an opportunity to be selected to burn for a new character. So let's say there's 500 wallets that have black frames, 214 of those wallets will be selected. You may not be selected to burn. And if you're not selected to burn, you don't lose your tokens, you get to keep them, but you will not get to burn. You will not be guaranteed that new character, but your odds are much higher. 214 out of 500 is much better opportunity than 5 frames out of 32,000 for the friends list, or no frames and just go in public. The burn list for new characters is the best odds that you can have, and you can put yourself in control of that. What happens if you don't get chosen, Shim? Can you still attempt to get 2 more gold frames? Yes, you can. And I would say that many would find it wise if you did that. So your silver and wood help you to get selected for the friends list, but if you don't get selected for the friends list, you're kind of SOL until secondary, so far as new characters go, or maybe even VF2, so unless you're going to try public mint. So if you want a really good shot, getting 5 gold would give you a much better odds, as I've said. Someone should pull up the wallet sizes that you can get from either Book Games Info or the blogspot .bookgames.com. That will tell you how many wallets have how many gold frames in it, and then you can see what your percentage would be. Yes, that was for the gold frame raffle. Yeah, Gary is hyped today. He's pumped. He's pumped. Yes, Dan, I am planning on burning for new character if I get selected. I have 5 black frames. That's what I've been sitting with. So hoping for a ninja. But if you don't get the ninja, so I have 5 black, and if that doesn't work, I can still be selected on day 4 or day 14, right? Day 4 or 14, you can have any frames, any 5 frames, but there's a much larger pool of people who have 5 frames. It's all the people who have 5 rainbows, 5 clear, 5 galaxy, 5 gold, on and on. So then those 214 for that character comes out of that much larger pool of people who have 5 of whatever, right? Only 500 wallets have black, 214 out of 500, 40%. 5 out of all the matching 5 sets of frames could be, I don't know, thousands of wallets, right? So the odds are down a little bit there. But yes, I am trying to go for black. Buy off secondary, do not public mint. I hear you, Tom. How can we find out how many wallets have 5 of the same frame? So Wes, you can watch my last video with Wade Watts, where he talks about bookgames.info, and he gave out a discount code. By the way, that discount code is busy, lowercase BIZZY. That will get you half off your first month if you want to do that for him, because he's got kind of a free side with some very interesting things, and then a paid side, which is incredible what you can see and do. He does a demo on that video, and you can see there how many wallets have 5 frames. Also, Tim F has some stuff too, so you can possibly see it on that site too. So if somebody wants to pull that out for him. Man, they're screaming in my ear right now. I'm gonna see if I can turn it down a little bit. I definitely need to turn this down. It is way too loud, and I don't know how, so I'll deal with it later. I want to stay with you guys. When do I think the BG floor will drop? I said that just a minute ago. I think this extends the floor drop. Maybe we see a little bit after friends list from people trying to get liquidity, but it'll be after the burn sale that we'll see the floor drop. And then I think VCon hits, and on and on and on. So end of May, June, maybe you'll see a little bit of floor drop. But remember, with all these burns, we're talking at least 15,000 being burned for the new characters. 15,000 Book Games tokens. That's going to drop us close to just over 100,000 Book Games tokens from 125,000. That's 20% of the total supply. So in that case, the value of what's remaining goes up. So this is fun, right? This is awesome. If you were in late January and buying frames and buying tokens, Book Games at 0.15, 0.18, you were killing it. And you see the floor, what it is right now. In fact, let's look at what the floor is right now. The floor is 0.46118 right now. So lots going on. Bro, how do I get this guy out of here? Get out of here. Stop spamming my chat. All right. Let's see. Did he mention how you'll know if you get selected, or do you have to do anything else to be eligible? So in the blog post, it says you have to go back and check, basically. So I don't know exactly what that means. Let me see if it says anything specific about exactly how that looks. Let's see. Check the status. So all entrants will need to return back to the site and check the status of their raffle entry. If your wallet was selected, you will become eligible to burn. So I think you'll be able to see that in your wallet. If they're doing the burn, let's say they're doing it on the Book Games Exchange in a special area there, then it'll be interesting to see. You just go and click. I did a live stream burn for my VCon ticket, so it may be similar to that. Maybe somebody's asking that in the AMA, and I just hadn't seen it yet. But you need to take the onus to go and check. And if you don't know, contact the admins in the VeeFriends Discord. Contact Corso. Contact anybody else that you can get in there. T, Dowds, and Crystal, and all of them. Just confused on friends list and new characters. If you get 10 friends list spots, mint them all, then burn 50 book games for new characters. Do you get 20 VF2s? Yes. Yes. In fact, look at it this way. Let's say you're the luckiest person on the planet and you have 5 book games tokens. Let's say they're all 5 black frames. And you get selected for 5 mint slots. Not going to happen, but let's say it happens. You can mint 5 VeeFriends 2s. Then you can get selected to burn for an additional new character. You could have 6 VeeFriends 2s using only 5 tokens. Extremely unlikely, but something that could happen. So yes, you can still take your 10 spots, burn all 50, and get 20 VF2s. Absolutely can happen. Would be amazing if you did that. Then again, though, it's book games is where you want to stay. Who knows? I have a book games token that I'm not burning no matter what. And that's my Humility Gold Neon, which is a 1 of 17 today. I'm not burning that. Just going to hang on to it and see what happens. Do I know when Series 2 characters of the Series 1 will be announced? Like, what will they look like? So Donald, he's been giving out insights. He just did Empathy Elephant yesterday or the day before. So he's been giving hints of those. Today is the reveal of the new characters in VF2. What the other ones will look like, I don't know. We may not get a list of all of those. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a blog post where they kind of, show all the characters, see the new stuff. But if you follow VeeFriends on Instagram or Twitter or anywhere else, they're constantly posting, which is where we think we found the 6 spectacular background, which that gunmetal, he actually posted a character with that background. That's what's going to be amazing, is the new poses and backgrounds. That's what's going to be unique and new about VF2, and something that, the art's new and it's cool looking, but those poses and background is what's going to define the characters and what's going to make them cool. Yeah. How do you find out how many wallets have 5 of the same frame? Wes, you got to use bookgames.info or Tim F's site. You can find those in Discord. Search them out and they will be able to provide us. Somebody may even just post it. Just ask Wade Watts to post it, and he will. Thank you, by the way, man. Happy to see your channel grow. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. Nico. Is that Nico or is that Nick? I'm going to go with Nick for now. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Trying to provide value to you guys and answer questions where I can. I'm taking it in like you are. I'm having a lot of fun and really enjoy all the feedback and the back and forth that we had. Do you know if these VF2 will have any utility? So when somebody says utility, I think about that in a few different ways, right? VF1 utility to me is like the access tokens have incredible utility. You just saw on Twitter Gary playing basketball with a bunch of folks who had that specific token that allowed that access, or Hangout Hawks where he's got the Zoom call with 100 people in it or however many there are. So that's utility in itself. VF1's also, Gary long-term is talking about being business partners with him, or the utility of getting a free VCon ticket for 3 years in a row. That is utility. Book Games token utility is the ability to burn, in this case, for new characters, right? That's special utility that VF1 doesn't have, nothing else has. You have to have Book Games, so that's utility for that. VF2, I haven't heard of any utility in that way. He's removing the access tokens. He's you're not able to burn for VF3 to my knowledge or anything like that. So he did say there will be something up their sleeve, but don't know what that means, right? The collectability and the rarability the rarity is going to be interesting, because these are the characters that Gary is going to be using to build his IP, right? These are the characters and what we're looking at are going to be the foundations for the cartoons. And I made a comparison a while back, I don't know, a month or so ago, between Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Mickey Mouse. The art and the improvement progression is incredible, night and day, right? But it started with Steamboat Willie. It started there, and an empire has been built. And I think what you're seeing with VF2 is the start. It would have been very hard to start with VF1 art, no offense, Gary, but it would have been hard to start cartoons and something that the general audiences, certainly children, would be interested in. So this is that first part, and the utility that follows, or the value that comes from that, I think is going to be imparted to VF2. And remember, we don't look at NFTs today as the masses are going to see them 5 years from now. It's going to be very different. What we look at and what we say, wow, this is valuable, this is really cool, they're going to look at it very differently, and it's going to be commonplace to them. That's the goal, right? That's why we're all here. We're early. What are your thoughts on specs? If it makes sense to buy more to get those, there's 90 of them. They're one of ones. I think if you want value, you're talking about specs possibly. I mean, I can imagine a world where specs are up to 10 ETH at some point, because there's only 90 of them out of 55,000. So certainly possible for that. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people in that AMA. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I want to see if Gary's typing and saying, he's talking on the AMA and he's typing at the same time. It's pretty amazing. All right. Let's see. So people are asking, I've got Book Games tokens. Do I get V1 or do I stay with V2 or try to buy the Book Games tokens to get a VF2 spec, or should I flip up? And Gary's saying we don't know. We don't know what the market's going to be. So a lot of great stuff. This is what we've been waiting on, the burn mechanics. I think with the friends list coming up and getting selected for that, something that I'm going to see that's going to be interesting are how are people going to peddle their mint spots, because there's value in that. Let's say I get 3 mint spots and I only have money to mint 2. That third mint spot's going to roll over because it's attached to my wallet, not the token. I can't sell it necessarily, but it's possible you could find a arbiter or a middleman to hold the ETH and to hold the token and then do that swap that way. And I've heard of people talking about this. It would be very interesting to see people trying to ensure, you know, they can guarantee to mint, because if I can get a VF2 for $1,000 mint, just doing that plus gas and maybe a little kickback to the person giving it to me, I still think that's going to be cheaper than what a VF2 is going to go for, right? That's like 0.4, 0.35 ETH with the way ETH's trending right now. Maybe after all said and done, 0.5 with the gas fees, maybe 0.6, certainly less than 1. And we know a VF2 is going to be over 1. I can't imagine people selling it for less than that. So if you can find that, it could be a great opportunity for you to turn over that way. Anybody in here holding tons and tons of Book Games tokens that are going to give them tons of mint spots that they can't mint because they don't have the liquidity or they don't want to pay for? Was it Tom talking about minting 20? No, it was Matt. Matt talking about minting 20. That would be wild. All right, let's do this. So the AMA is still going on. I don't want to take you away from Gary. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Let's close this down right here, and then I'm going to come back tonight and we'll talk about more of this and anything else we hear between now and then, right? So go to the AMA, and I'm going to do it too. We'll come back and we'll discuss together, and certainly there's going to be more questions, right? I appreciate you all being here. We'll see you guys soon, right? Web3 is forever, or Web3 is the future. Book Games is forever. We'll talk again soon. Thanks, guys.